Ah yes, it's time for another album ranking, and I am back. Today we are ranking the Canadian thrash metal band Annihilator. Pretty consistent throughout most of their albums, although there are a few shitty albums now and again. Jeff Waters is the mastermind of Annihilator, and he is featured on all of these albums. He does lead guitar, rhythm guitar, and sometimes he does the whole fucking band himself. Annihilator have had a pretty up and down history, with so many people leaving their band, becoming very inconsistent in terms of lineup changes. So as the years progressed, Jeff Waters only wanted live members that were performing in concerts to join up, because you know what, people were just leaving and never coming back. So today we're ranking Annihilator. And Annihilator have 17 albums. Some are okay, some are pretty shit, and some are absolutely fantastic, close to masterpieces. So let's get on with the ranking. So coming in last is Metal. This was released in 2007. Holy shit, this album is a pretty mediocre album. I don't really enjoy it. This is one of the most shittiest Annihilator thrash metal albums I have ever heard in my whole entire life. Got songs like Clown Paradise, Couple Suicide, songs like Downright Dominant, which just really don't grab my attention. The songs are pretty overly long as well. Like I said, the production isn't that great. One of the worst sounding Annihilator albums. But yeah, Metal is last. Next up is their latest album, Ballistic, Sadistic. It's an alright album overall. Arm to the Teeth is a pretty catchy song. Ballistic, Sadistic, The Attitude is an okay song as well. The problem with this album are the lyrics. The lyrics aren't that great, but I just feel that Ballistic Sadistic is a slightly stronger album than Metal, just because of the production. The production's a lot better, some really great guitar work by Jeff Waters. It's an okay album for what it is, but it's sitting at number 16. Next up is Feast, a much better album than Ballistic Sadistic, a lot better than Metal. This is a pretty hard-hitting sort of album, harsh aggressive vocals throughout this. Really enjoyed David Patton's vocals on this. Some great drumming by Mark Harshaw as well, but Jeff Waters' guitar work is absolutely fantastic. He also is the bass player on this, and there's a few backing vocals throughout the song Demon Code, but overall great songs like No Surrender, Wrapped, Perfect Angel Eyes, got songs like Deadlock. I just love the aggression on this. So yeah, Feast is sitting here. Next up is Suicide Society. This was released back in 2015. After David Patton leaves, we get Jeff Waters, who is again on vocals, and Mike Harshaw on drums. Overall, pretty solid album for what it is. It sounds more generic than Annihilator, but still there are some great songs like Snap, along with Narcotic Avenue. Then got songs like Death Sent. Just really enjoy the brilliant guitar work as well. Like most of Annihilator albums has such amazing guitar work by Jeff Waters, and just overall it's a pretty good album for what it is. Solid release by Annihilator. There are some softer, slow songs, there are some ballads, and they're just hard-hitting songs. But yeah, Suicide Society was a pretty fun time. Next up is Annihilator, and this album is the self-titled, which was released back in 2010, and yeah, it's an okay album, you could say. I feel like this is a lot stronger than the other LPs I have mentioned, and you got some proggy elements as well, some quite longer songs like The Trend. I just love the acoustic moments, the just proggy elements, and beautiful solos as well. Much more thrashier song like Coward is more hard-hitting. Ambush, Betrayed is pretty catchy. Got songs like 25 Seconds, Payback, and Death in Your Eyes. So some pretty catchy songs by Annihilator. Dave Patton's vocals are pretty good on this, you could say, although they do get a little bit irritating at times. But yeah, I actually had fun enjoying Annihilator's self-titled album. I did show our fellow YouTuber Quest for Metal, who didn't really enjoy this album. I don't think he liked Dave Patton's vocals, unfortunately. But yeah, Annihilator, for me, is solid as fuck. Next up is For the Demented, and this is a lot stronger album than the other albums I have mentioned. A much more sort of cohesive album by Annihilator. It's still not their best, it's still not up there to their 90s work, you could say, or even the early 2000s, but yeah, pretty solid LP. Songs like Twisted Lobotomy, One to Kill, Pieces of You, Altering the Altar as well. That fantastic instrumental, Dark, I love that instrumental. Love the just a beautiful eeriness of this album as well. Some doomy elements, some doomy moments, and it's a different sort of style by Annihilator, but it really works in my opinion. Some softer songs as well. Jeff Waters' vocals are very good on this. Love his clean vocals, love his aggression, great guitar moments. Yeah, for the Demented, I really did enjoy. Next up, it's Schizo Deluxe, and holy shit, this is a very schizophrenic album. So many different moments. This is an album that has really grown on me. Dave Patton's vocals are incredibly eerie and aggressive at times. I just love the dynamic range he uses. Some interesting ranges he uses on this album. Some great guitar work. Dave Chappelle's drumming on this is so damn good, and I just really love the interludes you were getting on this. Some really eerie sort of interludes that create this concept, and Schizo Deluxe has really grown on me. Songs like Maximum Satan, Warbed, Plasma Zombies, Like Father Like Gun, Too Far Gone, solid songs by Annihilator. The problem why this is not as high as the other albums I'm going to mention is because of the overproduction and at times the songwriting. At times this album can be slightly repetitive, but yeah, we are getting to the albums that I really fucking enjoy by Annihilator. Next up is the album All For You. This is an absolutely fantastic album, and I'll tell you what, the vocal range by Dave Patton on this LP is absolutely fucking fantastic. A lot of people don't really enjoy this album. A lot of people would actually have All For You a little bit lower than what I am ranking it right now. But holy shit, this is a fantastic thrashy fucking album with just so many elements of surprises, incorporating many different genres, which I absolutely love. Songs like All For You, Dark to Psycho, along with Demon Dance and Rage Absolute. Hello, what a fucking great song Rage Absolute is, especially Dave Patton's vocals on this, so damn good. So damn good. The way he stretches the Rage Absolute, holy fucking shit. Oh, it's great. It's a great fucking album, All For You, and I absolutely adore it. Nightmare Factory, so damn good. The Sound of Horror, what an incredible instrumental to end off the album. Hello, Annihilator, All For You is an incredibly underrated album. And Mike Magini's drumming on this, yes, I said it right, Mike Magini from Dream Theater was also featured on Annihilator and All For You. Mike Magini's drumming is absolutely fantastic on this. Absolutely love it, love the fills. All For You is sitting here. Well, next up is, I might cop a little bit of hate, but we got Set the World on Fire. Now, the only reason why this album is slightly lower than the other classic Annihilator albums is because of Aaron Randall's vocals. With Aaron Randall, I am not a really big fan of his vocals. Now, this album has grown on me a little bit. This album would have been close to last once I discovered all the shitty Annihilator albums. But yeah, Set the World on Fire, in my opinion, is one of the weakest Annihilator 90s albums, in my opinion. Look, Mike Magini's drumming is absolutely incredible. Aaron Randall's vocals, in my opinion, are the weakest link in Annihilator on Set the World on Fire. But great guitar work by Jeff Waters, some really good backing vocals as well. My favorite song off the album is it's gonna be Night's Jump Queen. It's a pretty fun song. Snake in the Grass is a lot softer song, which I do enjoy, but there are some ballads. This is when Annihilator really slowly started to change their sound from the absolute classics like Alice in Hell and Neverland. They started to really sort of change their sound, and Set the World on Fire, which was released in 1993, is my 9th placing Annihilator album. I just feel there are better, continuous, consistent albums than Set the World on Fire. The instrumentals are fantastic. It's just that Aaron Randall's vocals on this are not my cup of tea. Next up is one of the most interesting Annihilator albums, definitely one of the most different Annihilator albums. This is when everyone left Jeff Waters, and Jeff Waters decided to create something very different. And it's not thrash, no way it's not thrash, it's more industrial metal. You could say it heading towards the Rammstein, Marilyn Manson sort of era. It definitely does sound like something out of Rammstein. The riffs on this. We're talking about Remains. And holy shit, this was released in 1997 and Jeff Waters lost everyone. He did. And he was the only sole companion on this album. Jeff Waters also did drumming, also did bass, guitar, and even vocals. And you know what? This album has really grown on me. It really has. I love Rammstein. So Sexecution sounds like something like Dorik so good. The bloody riffs on this are so damn catchy. Songs like Human Remains, Wind, Tricks and Traps, I Want, Reaction, Bastiage, that beautiful instrumental you were getting. Hello. This is a fantastic album by Annihilator. Definitely one of the most different Annihilator albums you could say, but holy shit, it packs a punch, that's for sure. And that's why Remains, I respect Jeff Waters to go solo on this album. You could say this is not really an Annihilator album, but you know what? This is probably what Jeff Waters thought, that, hey, Black Sabbath did something similar to this. Why can't I do something similar to what I've done with Annihilator, is to go solo, but also brand the Annihilator name. Remains is a pretty solid album for it. It is a fun industrial sort of album. I loved it. I really did. And yeah, it's sitting here. Next up is Refreshed Demon, and holy shit, what an absolutely fantastic album by Annihilator. You know what, this was released in 1996. We had Jeff Waters, who was on lead vocals, and we also had Randy Black, who was also on drums, and some great drumming. Like I said, we get some great guitar work, especially on songs like Refresh the Demon, City of Ice, Anything for Money, Hunger, Voices and Victims, Innocent Eyes. I can go on and on. Some pretty consistent songs, a pretty consistent album, Refresh the Demon, and I just feel that, yeah, this album is a lot better than all the other fucking albums I have mentioned by Annihilator, and Refresh the Demon is a pretty underrated album by Annihilator, and it deserves to get some more fucking love. So Refresh the Demon sits here. Next up is Carnival Diablos. I love how aggressive Carnival Diablos is. Some great guitar work by Jeff Waters. Ray Hartman's on drums. We got Joe Como, who is also on vocals. Great vocalist he is. Love the dynamic range. Really enjoyed the guitar work. Love the songwriting as well. This was after the album, the classic lineup that returned, which was the criteria for Black Widow. Jeff Waters lost most of his band, unfortunately, and basically had a brand new lineup for Carnival Diablos, and holy shit, it's a pretty consistent album. Songs like Time Bomb's pretty fun, The Rush, Insomniac, Liquid Oval is an absolutely fantastic instrumental. Love the Dream Theater-esque vibe you're getting. A much sort of proggier album, with just so many elements or surprises. Carnival Diablos, Annihilator, is a modern day classic. Next up, we got another 90s classic, which was released in 1994. We have King of the Hill. Now, a lot of people would have this a little bit higher, but you know what? This is a pretty solid album. These are all the albums that I absolutely fucking love by Annihilator now, and it's just really hard to rank them. It has more of an industrial flair, you could say, especially the song The Box, which is very different to any song by Annihilator. Songs like King of the Hill, How's a War, Bliss is an interesting sort of interlude that leads on to Second to None, which I really do enjoy. There are a few interludes on this album. You got songs like Catch the Wind, which is a great instrumental, and Bad Child is so damn good as well. It's pretty consistent. There's only Randy Black and we only got Jeff Waters. As you all know, Jeff Waters, of course, creates some great solos, some great guitar work, and Randy Black is also featured on drums. Next up, we got a fucking fantastic, intense, in-your-face Annihilator album. A lot of people aren't really a big fan of this album, but you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna rank it high. It's Waking the Fury. Waking the Fury is such an awesome album. Joe Como's on vocals, Jeff Waters on guitar and bass, we got Randy Black on drums. The chemistry for these individuals are so damn good on this. The band just molds so damn well. Songs like Ultra Motion, Torn, My Precious Lunatic Asylum is such a fun fucking song. Primetime Killing, It's Prime Time Killing, along with The Blackest Day, Firepower, Cold Blooded, just so many great songs. A few ballads on this. This album just really blends in so well. But the vocals on this are so damn good. It's thrashy, it's hard hitting. Waking Up Fury is fucking furious. I love it. Next up is Criteria for a Black Widow. What an absolutely fantastic album. This is the original lineup by Annihilator. This is their reunion album. Holy shit, we had Jeff Waters. Randy Rampage was on vocals, the original vocalist, unfortunately died a few years ago. And we also had Ray Hartman on drums. Just great musicians, they really are. Randy Rampage's vocals are so damn good on this. Really great songs like Bloodbath is so damn intense. Back to the Palace, which is a sort of sequel to Welcome to the Fun Palace. Criteria for Black Widow, Schizo, finally get a part 3 for Schizo, Nothing Left, Loving the Sinner, Double Dare. Mending is such an awesome instrumental to end off the album. I just feel this is a pretty consistent album by Annihilator, one of the best. Jeff Waters bringing back the original Annihilator lineup. A fantastic reunion, but unfortunately that lineup went once the next album was released, which was Carnival Diablos. But yeah, Carnival Diablos is such an awesome album as well. This is, in my opinion, where Annihilator were absolutely dominating, slaying the thrash metal world with an album like Criteria for Black Widow. Just think a few years before that, we got an industrial album by Annihilator. Holy shit. Next up, we got Annihilator's sophomore album. If you don't have it at number 2 or number 1, there is really something wrong with you, and you should see a doctor as soon as possible. We got Neverland, and this album is such an awesome LP. Jeff Waters, of course, is featured on this album. We got the new vocalist Coburn Farr, who replaced Randy Rampage. Dave Scott Davis is on guitars. We got Wayne Darley on bass. So we have an actual full band for once. Neverland is such an awesome album. Songs like Welcome to the Fun Palace, Road to Ruin, 6s and 7s, Stonewall, Neverland, a great title track. Songs like Imperial Eyes, Craft Dinner is like something. Craft Dinner is so stupid lyrically, but it's so much fun. Fatadamas Gargoria, how catchy that song is. Reduced to Ash, I Am in Command. There's just so much happening on this album. Love the guitar work, great drumming on this, great musicality. Neverland is sitting at number 2. And finally, the grandiose piece de resistance, you could say, by Annihilator is none other than Alice in Hell. It's Alice in Hell. And what can I say? This album is a fucking masterpiece by Annihilator. One of my favorite thrash metal albums of all time. Just incredible songs such as Alice in Hell, Welcome to Your Death, Burns Like a Buzzsaw Blade. Word Salad is such a fun song, so damn thrashy. Lygia, such a catchy song. Human Insectable. Schizo's Part 1 and 2, just love the aggression Randy Rampage incorporates throughout this album. Alice in Hell is one of the best debut albums by any band out there. And holy shit, it is my number 1 Annihilator album of all fucking time. Hey guys, comment below what you thought about this Annihilator album ranking. Do you agree or disagree with my opinion? Keep the discussion going in the comment section below. Let me know, rank your Annihilator albums down below, and I will see you in the next one.